Hi everyone, good afternoon. Welcome to Online Kabbalat Shabbat. First of all, apologies, I'm slightly dressed down because it's 32 degrees here. And secondly, I'm on my phone because my laptop's not working. So it's a slightly more ad hoc kind of um, yeah, improvisation situation here. Always a privilege to be on the Online Kabbalat Shabbat and doing it now for a number of years. As we do, we'll start with the additional prayers, particularly mindful of the situation in Israel and also all those who are unwell, all those who need a refuah shlema, all those who are missing, particularly the hostages and everyone else who needs Yeshua, salvation and help from above. So if you've got a singers, it's page 510. And if not, it might be on the screen possibly. It's Psalm number 121. We'll sing the traditional tune, page 510 in the singers. Shalom alois, Esa einai el harim, me'ayin yavoi Ezri me'im Adonai, oisei shamayim va'aretz, al yitein lamoit raglecha, al yanum shoimrecha. Hinei lo yanun lo yishan shoyme Yisroel Adonai shoymerecha Adonai tzilcha al yad yeminecha Yoimam Hashemesh lo yakeka v'yoreyach b'layla Adonai yishmorecha Mikol ra yishmor es nafshecha Adonai yishmor tzeischa uvayecha me'ata v'yad olam. A song of ascents, I lift my eyes up to the hills. From where will my help come? It comes from the Lord who made the heavens and the earth. He will not allow your foot to stumble. He who guards you does not slumber. The guardian of Israel neither slumbers nor sleeps. The Lord is your guardian and your shade at your right hand. The sun will not strike you by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord will guard you from all harm. He will guard your life. May he guard your going and coming, now and forevermore. Amen. So we always like to learn something from the weekly Sedra. This week's Sedra is Balak, the famous prophet Bilam, who came to curse the Jews and found that he could only praise them. And one of his most famous praises, of course, which we sing, those who are there at the beginning, we sing when we come into shul, amongst other times, Ma Tovu, O Halecha Yaakov, Mishkanesecha Yisrael. I still remember from my Cheder days. How goodly are thy tents, O Jacob, thy dwelling places, O Israel. Never did know what thy meant until years later. How good are your tents, O Jacob, your dwelling places, O Israel. And our commentators explain that what was so special about the tents and about the homes. So one of the explanations is that people had great modesty and great dignity, and they would construct them in such a way that the front doors or the flaps were not opposite each other, so that people couldn't see into each other's houses, each other's tents. When I was growing up, I went to Carmel College. We used to pass through a village called Newnham Courtney in Oxfordshire, and they had houses where the doors were on the side. And I noticed once that none of the doors were opposite each other. I thought, wow, this is Torah in action. Until a historian told me the reason they built the houses that way, so none of the front doors faced each other, was so the women couldn't sit on the steps and yent all day. So actually a very misogynistic reason indeed. But nonetheless, this is the hallmark, or was the hallmark certainly, of a Jewish home. It was a place of modesty and dignity. I have the privilege of marrying a number of couples. We often learn together, and one of the things we often say is we talk about, the social media world. Not everything has to be out there. Not everything has to be shared. You can have privacy. This is the hallmark of Judaism. Not shame or embarrassment, but privacy and modesty about what happens between husband and wife, what goes on in your home. That you don't have to tell the whole world absolutely everything and share everything and compare with other people. And particularly, you say to people when people are comparing husbands to wives, they're always very quick to say, why don't you put the rubbish out when her husband puts the rubbish out? But what she doesn't tell you is that he snores very loudly, or he always doesn't listen to her, or he forgets everything she says. So, people are very quick to share what they want to. But the Jewish way was always to be modest and to have dignity. Matavu ohelecha Yaakov, that certain things can be kept inside, can stay at home. You don't have to bare your soul and share everything to the entire world, whatever social media might tell you. This is a very Jewish value, and it leads to a lot more shalom, a lot more domestic harmony, and peaceful relationships when we're not busy sharing everything and comparing everything, and everything has to be public knowledge and out there. So that's what we learn. One of the things we learn from Bilam. Let's turn now to the Kabbalat Shabbat. This week we will come up to the 3 weeks, which marks the period of time, the destruction of the temple and the siege of Jerusalem. I was at a wedding yesterday, and before we broke the glass, I made the comment that could be there were times in history where the breaking of the glass, and when we say Im eshkachech Yerushalayim, if I forget you, O Jerusalem, that it might be something a little distant. Certainly, since October the 7th, nothing has been more foremost in all of our minds. And we stand at a wedding, a time of great simcha, and certainly as we break the glass, we say, if I forget you, O Jerusalem, then may my hand lose its cunning. In other words, I must not forget Jerusalem. I must place Jerusalem even above my greatest simcha. Jerusalem, Zion, and Yerushalayim. Certainly, with what's been going on the last however many months now, 200 plus days, amazingly, it is foremost in all of our minds. So as we mark the 3 weeks, starting with the 17th of Tammuz and a fast on Tuesday, nothing could be closer to home right now than the destruction of Jerusalem and the desolation. And we can only hope for better times, for its rebuilding, for true peace and harmony, and for all those who need to be returned to their homes and their families speedily in our days, as they say. So very poignant for us right now. And just to end with the famous story of Napoleon, I don't know if it's true or not. They say Napoleon, shortly after the conquest of the Holy Land, was walking in Jerusalem, and it was the 9th of Av, it was Tisha B'Av, so people were sitting on low chairs, people were wailing and singing very solemn parts of the davening and the kinot. And Napoleon turns to one of his minions, as it were, and says, "What's going on? Are they upset about the new regime?" They say, "Oh no, don't take it personally. It's just the Jews. They're crying for their temple that was destroyed." And he says, "When was it destroyed?" And they say, whatever it was, 1800 years ago. So he's supposed to have said this iconic line, any people that still weeps after 1800 years will live to see its rebuilding. So please God, may we see the true rebuilding of Zion and Jerusalem, of peace and tranquility, and everyone should come home that needs to, and an end to all war and suffering. Amen. Okay, we'll do the Kabbalat Shabbat, which is on your screens, or in the Siddur if you want, it's page 256. Yedid nefesh av harachaman m'shoich avdecha el retzoinecha yarutz avdecha kamo ayal yishtachabeh El mol hadarecha yerab loy yedidoi secha minoi fetzuf v'chol ta'am hador noeh ziv ha'olam nafshi chaylas Abasecha Ana Elna Rafana La Beharis La Nayam Zivacha Osis Chazek Besis Rapei V'ha'yisala Simcha Soilam Vasik Yemuna Rachamecha V'chusana Al Ben Ahuvecha Ki Zekama Nisaif Nisavti Leroy's Besiferes Uzecha Eilechamda Libi Bechusana Bialti Salam Higalena Ufrois Chavimi Alai Esukas Shaloimecha Ta'ir Eretz Michvoidecha Nagila V'nismecha Maherehoiv Kiba Moed V'choneinu Kimeyoilom Tararai nai 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 Anarai nai 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 Ananai nai 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 Tararai nai 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 Ananai nai 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 Ananai nai 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 Ananai nai 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 Ananai nai 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 Ananai nai 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 Ananai nai 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 Ananai nai 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 Ananai nai 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 Lechun ranan aladoinoi naria leto yishainu nekama fana besoida bismi rasami aloi Hashem yadov mekare yomret surfacerim lai shalayim Hayem kodesh ishmas Hashem v'avachem akiyam Hashem Arba'im Shana Akubador Baimar Am Toelei Vavheim Beheim Lo Yodu Lerachai Asher Nishmati V'Api Im Yevayon El Manuchasi Aishiru Ladainoi Shir Chadash Shiru Ladoinoi Kol Haaretz Shiru Ladoinoi Baruch Shemai Basru Miyayim Layayim Yeshuasai Sapru Vagoyim Kavoidoi Bechol Ha'amim Nifaloi Sam Ki Gadoi Ladoinoi Umahulama'id Noi Rahu Out Kol Elohim Nai Ki Kol Eloi Hey Hoamim Elinim Vadoi Noi Shemayim Asa Hoid V'Hada Lefomna Ois V'Siferes V'Mikdashai Havu Ladoi Noi Mishpechai Samim Havu Ladoi Noi Kabbalat Shabbat, Kabbalat Shabbat, Kabbalat Shabbat, Sayumincha, Uvayulachat Shreisav, Ainai, Ishachabu Ladoinoi, Behabras Kodesh, Hilumi Panav, Kol Haaretz, Imru Vagoyim, Adoinoi Malach, Atikum Tevel, Baltimoit, Yodinamim, B'meisharim, Yismechu Hashamayim, B'stagel Haaretz, Yiram Hayom, Umalayai, Yaloi Sadoi, B'chol Hashebo, Ainai, Oz Yeranu Kolat Seyowa Lifnei Adonai Kiva Lishpaita Oretz Yishpaitevel B'tzedek V'yamim B'emunasai Ainai nai 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 Ainai nai 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 Ainai nai 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 Abinoi Mala Tagelores Rabim Anamorphos Vimotenesh Eshnotenesh Tazeran Yevosh Kolek de Pasan Shomavatis Matzion V'tagelna B'nois Yehuda Leman Mishpatecha Adonai Ki at Adonai Elyon Al Kol Haaretz Moed Nalei So Al Kol Elohim Ohavei Adonai Sinuro Shomer Nafshois Chasidov Miyad Rishayim Yatzileim Ozaru Ala Tzadik Urishoylei Simcha Simchu Tzadikim Badinoi Vaydu Lezecher Kodshoy, page 262 Mizmor Shilonoi Shir Chadash Kinfasot Hoshili Yamin Ezra Kodshoy Then Shor Harinei Amelech Adonai Yiram Hayam Malayoi Tevel V'yoy Shleiva Naharoi Simcha Uchaf Yachad Yarim Yerameinu Lifnei Adonai Kiva Lishvoi Ta'aretz Yishvoi Tevel V'tzedek V'yamim b'mei shorim Adonai Malach V'gazu Amnim Yoshik Kruvim Tanutay Yoydish Mchadado B'nei HaKadosh V'zmech V'chadama Adonai Adonai Shor Mishpat V'stok V'yakov V'dasar V'stok V'yakov B'amud Anan Yedaber Aleihem Shomru Eidoi Sov V'choy Nosan Lamoy Adonai Eloheinu Ato Anisov El Neisei Yisalohem V'noi Kei Maliloisov Roi Mamu Adonai Eloheinu V'shachavu L'har Kodshoy Ki Kadosh Adonai Eloheinu U'mizmor LeDavid Havu Adonai b'nei Yelin Havu Adonai Kavod v'ois Ein Havu Adonai Kavod Shemois Havu Adonai Mabras Kodesh Koil Adonai Alamayim Ein La Kavod Hirim Oy Adonai Amayim Rabim Koil Adonai Bakayach Ein Koil Adonai Be'adar Koil Adonai Shomer Arazim Vashaber Adonai Esar Zeyalvanai Vayakinei Kamoegen Levanoin Vasirion Kamoegen Ben Re'eimim Nai Koil Adonai Choy Tzei V'havoi Seish Koil Adonai Yachil Midbar Yachil Adonai Midbar Kodesh Kol Adonai Yachil Elai Alois Vayechesovoy Yarois Ubeheichalovoy Kula Omer Kavod Ein Adonai Lemavon Yashom V'geshev Adonai Melech Li'olam Adonai Ois Li'amo Yitein Adonai Yevorech Samoi V'shalom Ein Ay nay 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 nay. Anna bakaya kedula simcha. So we do the Chadodi, page 266. Sorry about the airplane overhead. As is customary, we'll pause for the last verse and switch off. You've actually got an hour till candle lighting. The 7:25 is the earliest candle lighting, so don't forget to switch off. And you've got an hour to rest or get ready for Shabbos or whatever you're doing, learn something or sleep. And we obviously don't forget to finish davening at 7:25. Page 266. Oy lechadoy di, oy likras kala, oy b'nei Shabbos nekabela, oy lechadoy di, oy likras kala, oy nay b'nei Shabbos nekabela. Shamu v'zachu b'dibor echad, Hishmiyanu elam yuchad, Adonai echad u'shema echad, Shemu siferes v'lasila ayayayay, Lechadoidi, ay nikras kala, ay b'nei Shabbos, P'nei Shabbos nekabela, Likras Shabbos lechu v'nelcha, Ki himekor habaracha, Meirosh mikedem nevasucha, Soif masev ma Shabbat zechila, Nay nay na, lechadoidi, ay likras kala, ay b'nei Shabbos, Kabbalah, Mikdash melech imelucha, Kumitzei mitzaycha hafnecha, Rab lach sheves b'yei mekavacha, V'hu yachmal alayichem la, Ay nay na, V'vay lecha doidi, Ay likras kala, Ay b'nei Shabbos, Kabbalah, his nari meyafarkumi, live she big days vatechami, al yad ben yishai beis alachmi, korva el nashigi olai, lechadoidi, ay likras kala, ay b'nei Shabbos, Kabbalah, his sorry, his sorry, kiva ore, komi ore, ore, shedaveri, kavod adonai, alayich miglai, nay, lechadoidi, ay, likras kala, ay, b'nei Shabbos, B'nei Shabbos nekabela, ay, nay, ay, nay, nay, ay, nay, 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 lo say voishi, lo say kami, mati shaychachi, Umatami, ay bavach yechesu, ami yami, v'nim nesar, iratila, ay lechadoidi, nikras kalama, P'nei Shabbos, Kabbalah, lechadoidi, likras kala, P'nei Shabbos, nekablo, v'hayulim shisa, shoisayich, v'rachaku, Kol mevalayich, Yosis alayich, Eloi Kim sois chason akala oy lechadoydi likras kala Pernei Shabbos nekabala oy lechadoydi likras kala Pernei Shabbos nekabla Yaminu Smoil Tifroitzi V'es Adonai Taritzi Al Yadish Ben Parzi V'nismecha V'nagila Ein lechadoydi Nikras kala Pernei Shabbos nekabala Oy lechadoydi Nikras kala Pernei Shabbos nekabla. Wish everyone Shabbat Shalom. That was the melody, of course, of Imash Kachech, Shlomo Kabach. If I forget you, O Jerusalem. So this week, as we mark the beginning of the 3 weeks, I'm sure none of us will forget. It'll be foremost in our minds, Zion and Jerusalem, and the peace and the tranquility which is so much needed. Please God, these 3 weeks should be transformed from misery into joy. Amen. I wish everyone a peaceful and meaningful Shabbos. Shabbat Shalom.